The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
It's time to get in the ring with NJPW.
This is like a match between Kushida and Walter.
Time to get in the ring with DJD Cruz and somebody that's already interrupting me. Beast Mike.
Oh, yes, I am making sure that I'm catching up on all the stuff that's happened during the week. I'm on the NXT kick right now. Things are good. He was on the Sports Blitz on Line 90.7 FM.
Yes, I
earlier
was.
This,
the last two Thursdays. So
yeah, earlier this afternoon. I host the Thursday shows. We talk a whole lot of sports there. That's kind of what we do there. Things go haywire after that. Obviously, keeping up on the football game. The Patriots are first and goal at the 1. They're actually tied at 14. I can't believe they're tied at 14 with the Giants. But yes, it's a good night. It's a good night for fall stuff. As that tends to be the norm.
That tends to be the norm. And we have a lot.
There's a lot happening
to cover on this edition of Get in the Ring.
We've got Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell. First Smackdown.
We've got. Yep.
We have NWA Powerr. The NWA debuted their YouTube show this past week, so I watched that as well. AEW, Dynamite and Dark, their other YouTube show where they're showing dark matches from their tapings.
Which I think is a pretty cool. That's a pretty cool way to do that, to get more attention towards people who don't always get the kind of shine on the main shows. So I think it's actually not a bad idea for AEW.
We have a major New Japan show on Monday as well. We need to preview King of Pro Wrestling. So, and I will be at AEW next week, baby.
Okay.
I didn't drop that on you before we recorded. I was like, should I drop it on the show? I was like, yeah, I'm glad you
waited to the show. I'm glad because you talked about it, because I know you talked about how tickets were flowing, and all of a sudden, boom, okay, you got the tickets.
Like for Philly, they were like dirt cheap.
Okay.
$6 on StubHub. Let me do the StubHub right now. But we got a little more expensive tickets, me and my cousin, because we wanted to sit closer. We're going to be on the hard cam side. So
okay, nice. So look out for D Coops on the hard cam set side of AEW. Yo, did you hear this? I heard there was a story that Kevin Dunn was at the first AEW Dynamite and WWE promptly banned him. Is that actually happened?
I don't know.
I heard some story about that. Yeah, I heard Kevin Dunn was at the first AEW live show, and apparently somebody got a hold of it and they snapped and banned him.
The gut celebrities that were on the first show, Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes. What are you talking about? WWE's executive producer, Kevin Dunn?
Yeah. I heard some story. Yeah, somebody said some story that he was actually at the AEW show, and WWE snapped or something.
Let me see.
I'm guessing. I don't know if that's actually true, but somebody was snapping. He was at. I don't think he actually was, but somebody was snapping about that.
No.
Ooh, good power bomb. So switched over to AEW.
What happened was Kevin there was a Kevin Smith from like Jay and Silent Bob and Jason Mewes.
Yeah, no, I know about that. Yeah, I saw that.
They were asked to be on the first SmackDown. They went to AEW, and then WWE called them and said, "Yeah, we don't want you on our show now."
Okay, so all right, so it's Kevin. All right, fine. It was the wrong Kevin. It's Kevin Smith. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, so it's not done. It's Kevin Smith. Fair enough. All right, cool. So let's get into it. Ooh, a good kick by I'm guessing this is Prime Party versus.
Again with the ratings bloodbath.
What, from the first show? Yeah, we might as well do it from the first show and then jump into the first SmackDown and then Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, SmackDown, Hell in a Cell. But AEW did beat NXT the last 2 weeks, so we'll get into that later on in the show. But we're doing things in chronological order.
Mm-hmm.
So we started off with Becky Lynch and The Rock and King Corbin.
Yes. As Becky Lynch effectively kicked off, well, obviously Stephanie and Vince did their thing to kind of say, welcome to SmackDown on Fox, that kind of stuff. But the first real thing that happened was Becky. And love the SmackDown set. The SmackDown set is fire. And I love the Pyro's back on both Raw and SmackDown. Love that. I mean, that's pretty cool. And then Becky does her thing. Corbin comes in. Obviously, Corbin gets all the boos. And then Rock and Becky basically own Corbin. And to hilarious was, oh, okay, that's just fire. That hurt around to the cutter. I was watching the AEW stuff now. This match was dope. Private Party in the Bucks.
Yeah,
this match was dope. Anyway, so Rock and Becky absolutely own Corbin. It's hilarious.
And with broke-ass Burger King on crack.
That was good. And then the super tough dude, and then Becky, and then Rock turns into FTD, which was pretty savage. That was pretty savage of Rock to do that to him. But yeah, Corbin gets owned by Becky physically, and the people's elbow, and all that happened. So, an opener that popped for SmackDown, it made a lot of sense to pop like that on SmackDown. So that was good stuff there.
Then we had Charlotte and Becky Lynch defeating Bayley and Sasha Banks.
Solid match. First match on SmackDown to open. Good stuff between the four of them. Ultimately, it led to Charlotte making Bayley tap out to the figure 8, and obviously led to Hell in a Cell stuff. We'll see in a little bit. We'll talk about it in a little bit.
And I'll be raging at the Firefly Funhouse.
I know. Yeah, that's why we got Shinsuke versus the next thing was what? Shinsuke Seth?
Yeah,
we got next. And,
Speaking of the Firefly Funhouse,
okay.
House. Yikes! Did you see the photo of these Fox execs just laughing at the Firefly Funhouse? Did you see that?
Yeah. That's ugly. Not good at all. Like, everyone is absolutely dumping on Bray and Seth. We'll get to why.
Freaking should.
There's a lot of bad not a lot of good happened from their main event. We'll get to what happened there. But obviously, Bray jumped, huh?
We'll get to that.
But Bray obviously dumped on basically interfered in the match with Shinsuke and Seth with another mandible claw. As that continued, as we went through, keep rolling on SmackDown. Let's see. Next on the totem pole was There wasn't Shane and Kevin, was it? Yeah, it was, okay, Shane and Kevin. Match is actually not bad. Good way to end it. One thing about Shane McMahon rivalries, they may be cringeworthy at times, but they usually end fairly well. Sans Miz in the case, that was bad. But the rivalries usually end with a pop. And ultimately, it was Kevin Owens just being too big, too strong for Shane. Shane got all his stuff in, but ultimately, it was Kevin Owens doing his thing with the powerbomb through a ladder, and ultimately Kevin getting the briefcase, securing his place and ending Shane's, and then leaving him with a stunner to finish the deal. So ultimately, Kevin Owens ends the rivalry once and for all with Shane.
Then we had the point of Braun and Heavy Machinery defeating AJ Styles, Robert Roode, Dolph Ziggler, and Randy Orton in 245.
Right.
With the Dolph. But that's not the big story here. The big story is Fury.
Is Tyson Fury wants heat with Strowman. As Strowman kind of threw Ziggler into Fury, this led to stuff that happened on Raw. We will certainly get into that and all the stuff that's coming from there. But yes, that was really the match was secondary to what happened afterwards. So we'll get to all that later.
The 24/7 champion, that was a thing.
Who was 24/7?
Marshmallow.
Yes. Marshmallow held it for a couple minutes, and then Carmella got it back. So as the 24/7 title continues to do what it does.
Lineage of the 24/7 championship, we have Ennis Cantor.
Yep.
The host of Fox Big Noon Sunday.
Mm-hmm. We got Marshmallow. Oh yeah. Yep. He won the 24/7. Obviously Marshmallow. Glenn Jacobs. Not even Kane for him. Glenn Jacobs won the 24/7 title.
Yeah.
And then we've got R-Truth got 20 reigns as champion, and really not. I guess 21 now.
Eric got this fucking title.
Who's what? This title's for comedy. I don't think no one should ever take this title seriously. This title's for comedy.
No, but it's like geeks. Geeks.
I honestly don't even care if it's a geek or not. I honestly don't even care. I just let the title be for fun, for comedy. Let it be the comic relief. I don't even like. I'm not even concerned. Like if it was geeks or whatever. I'm not even taking it seriously.
Okay.
I don't take that title seriously. It's just funny. It's just let it be funny.
Not that funny. It's funny over and over again.
I think it's too much, R-Truth. I'd like to see what other people could do with the title. I get it. R-Truth is gold with the championship, and like Truth and Carmella, that they're gold with the title. But I'd rather see I do want to see other people hold it and be funny.
Reigns and Eric Rowan.
A decent lumberjack match. Obviously building to what they did at Hell in a Cell. We got some Harper involvement. We got some Daniel Bryan involvement. Reigns gets it done ultimately, but it was a good match all in all. And in the end, Daniel Bryan and Roman shook hands and led off to a Hell in a Cell match, which was actually pretty good. So we'll get to that later.
Get to that. Kofi Kingston and Brock Lesnar. 10 seconds.
I hated this. I get it. Brock's going to win. Fine. But to do that to Kofi, I thought was pretty bad. I hated this idea.
I had
just squash Kofi like that.
Kofi's title reign was a failure. No problem. No problem with it at all.
But Brock winning, fine, cool. But I didn't like squashing him.
I squashed because that's what. No one in their right minds would think Kofi Kingston's going to beat Brock Lesnar. So, yeah.
No, Kofi was going to be Brock. I'm but at least let Kofi do something other than jump into his arms. I don't like that at all. I didn't like it. But that's become secondary because of what happened after the match. As Cain Velasquez, who's been rumored to go to either WWE or go to AEW, it seems like he chose the former because he wants all the heat with Brock Lesnar and came for Brock. With Rey Mysterio by his side, as Ray would elaborate on Raw, Kane is family to the Mysterios. So he basically got Mysterio. Happy birthday, Eddie Guerrero. Speaking of family to the Mysterios, happy birthday, Eddie Guerrero. Rest in peace. He wants all the heat with Brock, and as we know, Lesnar's run in UFC effectively came to an end when Cain Velasquez gave him that work. So, needless to say, what did Kane do when he first saw Brock? he gave Brock that work. Lesnar was covering up and trying to shield himself from the beating that he was taking. Dean Ambrose and Jon Moxley in tights? What is going on here? But yes, Velasquez gave Lesnar that work. Lesnar got the title, but he also caught a beating in the process. And now we get to Hell in a Cell.
Which was an okay, but the ending
It started fine. It started perfectly fine. Hell in a Cell had 3 main events, as we know. The 2 cell matches, and Reigns and Bryan versus effectively the Bludgeon Brothers. The first match was Becky and Sasha. Very good. A really good match.
Oh, yeah.
From start to finish. They were creative. They were creative from the jump. They did new stuff we hadn't seen inside Hell in a Cell. Stacking Sasha up on one of the corners of the cells with the chair and doing a drop kick, I thought that was dope. They did a whole lot of creative stuff we hadn't seen. I love that. That was awesome. And I think Becky may have had the first submission recorded inside Hell in a Cell with the disarmer. So that was also a bit of a tidbit there. Great match.
Half stars, and this still is the worst show of the year contender because of what happened at the end.
That's pretty bad.
But
even worse than Crown Jewel? Because Crown Jewel sucked.
Crown Jewel sucked.
Oh.
It's not worse than Crown Jewel. I'm just saying it's a worst show of the year contender.
That's fair. It's totally fair because you had that classic between Sasha and Becky, and then the second match, the other main event of Reigns and Bryan versus the Bludgeons. And I'm glad it was made no DQ. I thought that was basically a tornado match. I'm perfectly fine with it. I thought it was cool. They did their thing. It was a quality match, and ultimately it was Reigns who gets it done with a knee and a spear as they pinned Harper. Good, very good match. That worked. That was good, 2 in a row. So Hell in a Cell off to a good start. Then a lot of blah. There's no way to say it. A lot of blah.
Randy Orton beat Ali via pin.
That was okay.
That was okay.
Orton Ali was all right. So I'll give you 2 a pass. You 2 are fine. Plus, Ali's counter the RKO was fire.
Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross a pass.
I thought that was fine. They were respectful tag team champions, Alexa and Nikki.
By the way, did you know that was a heel turn for the Kabuki Warriors?
Well, they kind of acted like it to some degree during the match, but it wasn't overt until Asuka did the mist. Until Asuka did the Tajiri deal. It really wasn't like obvious until she did that.
Yeah, because
they did act like heels during the match. So you can kind of tell, but we didn't get to the point until Asuka did the mist, and then kicked Nikki in the head to win the match and the titles.
I think the first shitty DQ finish of the night.
Why did this have to end in a DQ? This was dumb. This was just a dumb ending. Now we got a NyQuil moment though. That was good. When AJ caught a NyQuil from Strowman, obviously a nod to get the Fury stuff, but we did get a NyQuil moment out of it, so it wasn't a complete total loss, even though the idea was a terrible idea to have them end in disqualification.
Versus the fact that they're calling him Shorty, shut the fuck up. Oh, God, that was
the match itself. That match was fine. The fact that we're really running with this whole Shorty thing is dumb. I can't believe Greg Hamilton did that. That was dumb. The match itself was actually fine between Corbin and Gable. I'll tolerate it. And Gable needed to win that match, and I'm glad he did. And then Corbin with the beatdown to keep it going. Bayley versus Charlotte. I knew it was coming that Bayley was going to lose, but I still don't like it. That after all that Bayley did to win a Clash of Champions, that there was no shenanigans for Bayley to keep the title. I'm a little disappointed in that. But Charlotte wins, and that's title reign number 10 for Charlotte. Obviously, she's going to carry the women's division on SmackDown, as you can see coming. And then we get to whatever that was to end the show, the Hell in a Cell. DQ.
What the hell was that? What the hell was that? It was horrendous. It was stupid. It was shitty. It was inept. Whoever approved this shit, and they're not even doing the Seth Rollins Brock Lesnar rematch. They're gonna do a
Good
versus Seth match at Survivor Series.
They're gonna do who and Seth?
Fiend again.
Give me a conclusive winner. I'll accept it. That was dumb how they played that off.
You're gonna just do. I get that you want Seth Rollins as your like face. I don't see it. I don't see it at all.
Nope.
And then a fucking disqualification finish in a Hell in a Cell match, the second of which in 2 years. Come on, you're killing your own gimmick.
You're killing what? You're killing what's become an iconic gimmick in WWE. Okay, there's a lot of ways to talk about this. Personally, I think what the match should have been was Seth trying to do everything he can to start the match, and then Bray destroy him, and Bray basically rip his head off and win the match. It should have been 5 to 10 minutes of Bray basically ripping his head off and then finishing the deal with the mandible claw, putting Seth to sleep. That's what this should have been. And up until, and I can even tolerate a lot of the match until we got to the stop party that Seth went on. Up until that point, I tolerated a lot of this match. I thought it was fine. I thought it was fine up until that point.
Well, I didn't think it was fine. I thought
once we got there,
stupid.
Once we got to the stop party, I thought like, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. They tried way too hard. It did way too much, and most of it was way too useless. And even the attack by Bray after they rung the bell was kind of pointless to me. I mean, yeah, you're going to do that because you're going to keep Bray strong, but you did damage because you didn't have Bray win the match. You have an incredibly over gimmick that you built and have manicured and have made sure that it was hot for months. And the fact that you don't get the payoff at a golden opportunity to do it, that's a bad look, WWE. You got to go hard. You got to do better than that. So that's why I'm critical of the match. You had a golden opportunity to capitalize on a gimmick that's actually working and people actually love to see, and you don't cash in. Bad look. You got to cash in on those, WWE. You had a golden opportunity to do it, and you didn't do it. I don't like it.
I just think the game's stupid. And
they did damage that was unnecessary to it. I think that's the you got to keep it a simple situation, and you didn't keep it simple. You overcomplicated the WWE. You got to go harder than that. You got to do better. Got to be better there.
So Raw started off interesting with the Join in Progress segment as Orton and Corbin are beating down on Rusev, and then actually saves.
Lashley and Lana are in Rusev's bed. Lana claims that the joining counts are basically Lana's now. Rusev finally snaps, which was great, and wows out on Corbin and Orton. That's fine. Perfectly cool.
Then we had the last woman standing match, which was okay.
Yes. And probably a necessary end to a decent rivalry between Lacey and Natty. I do wonder what happens with Lacey. I still think they're grooming her to be a champion. It's just a matter of where and which woman she goes after, whether it's Charlotte or whether, I guess now that Charlotte's back to being a face, I'd imagine they're going to have her go after Charlotte. But we'll see how that goes. Good ending, though.
Then we had Ziggler and Robert Roode versus the Viking Raiders.
This was a good match. I think, like I said before the show, Ziggler and Roode have been pretty good as a team. They put on some good matches. They had a good match with Heavy Machinery last week, and where they retained their titles. Another good match this time, but this time, Viking Raiders get it done. Viking Raiders win the match, and they're coming after Roode and Ziggler for the tag titles very soon. Good match.
Aleister Black versus the Saints. This was an ass beating.
Definitely was. He kicked one. He immediately hit one of them with black mass, and then he did a submission to the other one that made him tap. So this is basically a squash when it sings.
The OC versus the Lucha House Party.
You would expect the OC to handle it, and they did. You would expect them to do the damage that they did after the match, and they did. The Super Styles Clash to Grand Metalik there, which was quality. It's quality.
Then we have Miz TV.
Miz TV leading to the obvious tension between Charlotte and Becky, and leading to the Kabuki Warriors storming the ring. And Becky obviously still wants more heat with Asuka, which I think is great. I like to see them run it back too. And it was led to a pretty decent tag match between the four of them. But ultimately, it was green missed by Asuka, and it was Kairi Sane getting the pin on Becky to keep things pushing. So, all in all, good match between the four of them. And then obviously Alexa and Nikki wants heat with the Kabuki Warriors after how they won the titles from them the previous evening. So good to keep that going, and a pretty good match all in all by all parties involved.
Ricochet versus Apollo Crews.
Decent. I wish it got more time, or at least got more shine. Or I think I wish it actually just did more with it. But I think it's a good. I think that could be either a good team or a good rivalry between the two of them.
And
Good
then
one.
Theory versus Braun Strowman.
But this is clearly what the night was about. This is clearly about those two guys and their confrontation. I love that Strowman got the verbal jab in about how Wilder gave him that work, and Fury escaped by not actually losing the match. But they came to blows as both parties tried to jump in and try to get at each other, and ultimately it was NyQuil that Fury gave Cesaro after the coming off the air. So a decent brawl. It seems like it's obviously something for Super Showdown. It's only a matter of time. And actually, matter of fact, there's going to be an announcement at T-Mobile Arena tomorrow about how that's going to go. Probably how that's going to go down between Strowman and Deontay Wilder, and maybe even something with Brock and Cain Velasquez. I'd imagine that they're going to have some stuff go down with those four parties at Super Showdown.
Then we have AEW, which was from last week's tapings, and they're going to do this on Tuesdays on YouTube at 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And you can watch it on demand at any time, where they tape their dark matches, basically, which is interesting. Shima and Darby Allin. Darby Allin defeats Shima with a drop. Pretty good, energetic opener. And Allin winning over a legend. Best Friends and Private Party versus Lucha Brothers, Calico and Jack Evans. Looks good spot fest. Double stomp pack power driver finishes all the stuff. And we'll get the Private Party a little later on into the show. Dee Priestley and Penelope Ford versus Allie and Baker. Allie and Baker won with the Baker hitting a net breaker and then a cross base foul. Then we have SCU versus Jurassic Express. Sky and has hit a double team backstabber to finish off. Then we had NWA Powerr. Really good stuff here. Really good TV show. Like, the feel of the old 605.
Okay.
Like the network. So it's Joe Golly and Jim Cornette are the commentary team. Kane and Dave Dawson versus Billy Buck and Sal Renara. A decent squash there for Zane and Dave Austin. Eli Drake versus Caleb Conley. Eli Drake beats Conley with the gravy train. Champion size versus James White and Finn. championship. Champion Isaac, then Latimer with wins with the power bomb, Dragon Kick finish. Eddie Kingston would arrive after championship. He calls Latimer brand and champions. Oh, my bad. I'm losing track of shit.
So much has happened.
But I think it cuts a promo on the champions and Latimer. And then there was a brawl between Eddie Kingston and Homicide and two others. Then James Storm versus Josephus, super kick pin, and then Tim Storm for the NWA Championship. This was set up by a promo at the beginning by Nick Aldis and Tim Storm. But pretty good stuff. It's easy to watch. But Aldis defeats Storm. So it was a pretty gun going for professional wrestling. So you want to move on to NXT?
So NXT got popping with a WWE Cruiserweight Championship, well, NXT Cruiserweight Championship now, between Lio Rush and Drew Gulak. A good match, a good way to open the show. We saw pretty much both styles kind of be thrown in there. We saw the tech style of Gulak, the physical tech style of Drew Gulak, and we saw the aerial wizardry and the speed of Lio Rush. Ultimately, it was Gulak trying to go to Rush's game, which is the top rope, and Gulak tried a superplex. It just did not work. Rush did a final hour and then thought one wasn't enough. I got to hit a second. He did. Rush pins Gulak, wins the now NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Gulak respectfully handed the title over to Lio Rush afterward. But it was a good match, a good way to open the show as Rush is Cruiserweight Champion.
Rhea Ripley kicked Aaliyah's ass. Nothing to see here. Tyler Breeze and Fandango versus Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake. Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake defeats Breezango. You there? Hello?
Hello? Yeah, I could. Yeah, you kind of broke up there. You were talking about the NXT. You were talking about the match with the Bucks, or where were you going? You kind of broke up there.
I was going. Rhea Ripley kicked Aaliyah's ass.
Yes, no, she did. She absolutely did. And I love the submission that she did too, where she basically trapped Aaliyah and then spun her around, making her kind of disoriented, and so Aaliyah had no choice but to tap. But it's clear that Rhea Ripley made her intentions known. She wants more heat with Shayna Baszler, and I'm all for it. I think that'll be a very good fight between the two of them. But it was a beating. Quick and painful.
Breezango, 3 minutes.
Yep. It was clockwork for basically what happened was Forgotten Sons jumped who would have been the actual opponents for Breezango and inserted themselves into the match instead. And then Jackson Riker being a little bit of the difference, but Forgotten Sons get it done and handle Breezango.
There was a Keith Lee promo.
Yep, as we're gonna get there were several promos during the night. One of them being that one, the return of Tegan Knox next week. It's good to see her come back. And then Damian Priest versus Pete Dunne. I'm actually looking forward to that. I think that'll be a pretty good match. So I'm all for that match too. Plus the
Cameron Grimes defeated Boa.
And what was a relatively quick match, Grimes gets it done, and then Killian Dane basically lays waste to Boa after the proceedings. So it got very violent very fast. A very bad night for Boa.
Scott I'm so used to calling him Shane Swerve Strickland.
Swerve Scott with the good match. They're probably the best match on the card for NXT this week. Very good match. Again, Swerve Scott's entrance music is straight. It's absolute fire. I'm very happy that people put it out on YouTube, and I will be jamming out to that real soon. That entrance is fire. This match was good. This match was really good too. Roddy wins clean with the end of Heartache. A little bit of Undisputed there at ringside at the entranceway, but they didn't really do anything. So good match, good clean match. Roddy gets it done with the end of Heartache, and they cut a promo with the Velveteen Dream getting involved. And basically, Roddy Strong, you should have known better. He put the picture out on Twitter after he won the North American Championship of himself in the nude with the title covering up his nether regions. And Velveteen Dream got a hold of it. And Roddy snapped. And Roddy, that's your fault. You put it out there. You put it out there for everybody to see. You should have known that was going to be live bait. And he did. And Velveteen took it and took it and ran. And then Ciampa, who's made his intentions known, he's coming back for Goldie, the goalie that he never lost, which just got Cole a little shook. So I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. As we see the two singles titles, the targets are set. Velveteen, and it's confirmed, Velveteen will face Roddy in 2 weeks as they run it back for the North American Championship. Another match that's coming, and obviously the continuation of my favorite rivalry in NXT this year, Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic, round 4. They are 1-1-1. And a rivalry I'd love to see keep going, but I think this will be the culmination of it coming up next week.
And then we had Bianca Belair and Dakota Kai.
Good match. Bianca and Dakota, two solid contenders for Shayna's Women's Championship. A good match between the two, but ultimately Bianca was a little bit too strong and a little bit too much for the not quite new returning Dakota Kai, but she's came back last week or so. But Dakota's basically back, and good to see Dakota do her thing. But ultimately, Bianca was just a little bit too good. And obviously, Bianca made her intentions known. She still wants more heat with Shayna. I think of all of Shayna's challengers, I think Bianca probably had the best match. I would say Bianca, except for the Kairi Sane stuff, I'd probably say that Bianca had the best matches with Shayna of all of Shayna's challenges in this year run that Shayna's had with the title.
And then Walter defeats Kushida.
A good match between Walter and Kushida. Solid match. Probably the second best on the card from NXT this week. NXT didn't have a bad match on the card, let's just say. A bad match that was actually a true match. But ultimately, Walter was just too strong. It was just too big and too dominant for Kushida. So Walter gets it done and beats Kushida up and beats Kushida down. Solid NXT.
Now we go to AEW.
Now they were in Boston, I do believe.
Yes, they were. Jim Ross and Excalibur and Tony Schiavone on commentary. And we start off hot with the Young Bucks and the Private Party.
This was dope. I got a chance to see some stuff from this. This was dope. I enjoyed this match. I really did enjoy this match. I'll go back and watch it in full later, but this was dope. This was a very good match. And Private Party getting the win, too. That was a bit of an upset.
This was very good, and they're officially made men.
Yes.
Then we had a Jericho promo. We had Ortiz, Speaker, and Powerr. They're known as the Inner Circle. And they tried doing "We the People" chants, and Jericho says, "That was a bad idea, my bad creative."
Yo, Jericho has not been shy about taking shots at WWE every chance he gets. You see the shots that he took after Hell in a Cell? Yes. He has not been shy at all about taking shots at WWE. Cool.
Then we had Jericho say Cody Simmons has doesn't like James and his family, and he called Dusty a joke and a moron. And
it's the classic stuff going on there.
shit out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Forced.
A little bit.
So then we had Jimmy Havoc and Darby Allin. Darby Allin would win in 10 minutes with the coffin drop. Pretty good match. 3 stars.
It looked like it was. It looked like it was a pretty good way to continue to try to continue the flow from AEW. Continue the flow from it. So I like it. It was good stuff. Good stuff there.
And Darby Allin gets a shot for the title next week in Philly.
Good. That'll be interesting. Darby Allin versus Jericho. That'll be interesting.
Darby Allin's going to kill himself, but we all.
He is. He is.
Then we had Britt Baker and Riho defeat E. Priestley and Emi Sakura. Baker hits the neck breaker into the crossface, and the mandible claw with the win.
A little bit of stuff afterward, but a decent match. Match was all right.
Yes. We got a best friends video package. They're in the crowd and they get interviewed. They face SCU in the tag tournament. Yeah, it's weird. Orange Cassidy's there.
Mm-hmm.
He gives a thumbs up, lights out, and it's Spears time. John Moxley versus Shawn Spears.
The fact that Moxley was in tights absolutely threw me off. The match itself was pretty good, though.
Moxley hit the Death Rider and gets his first win in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara versus Dustin Rhodes and Hangman Page. He sets up for Shattered Dream. Dustin sets up for Shattered Dream, and he slams Guevara, and Hager attacks behind the ref bag as Guevara held the ref down, and then there was a big beatdown afterwards between the Inner Circle. But then MJF saves the day, and Darby Allin saves the day. MJF didn't turn heel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, turn completely heel. You know what I mean? He already
right.
But he has this dynamic.
He hasn't joined the dark. He hasn't joined the dark. He hasn't betrayed the Rhodes family yet.
No.
Because Kowski misses a field goal. It hits the upright.
It's not Kowski. It's Mike.
Yeah, the kick was still missed. I was talking about Kowski's out for the year. It is legit, but yeah, the kick was still missed.
And we have Darby Allin rode out on a skateboard and attacked Jericho. That was a cool visual.
Hey, he's a former skateboarder. I like it.
But AEW did 1,018,000 viewers on TNT and an additional 100,000 on TV.
And I think part of that is because AEW had such a good first show. B, the groundswell that was coming from all the Hell in a Cell stuff, I think absolutely helped. All the AEW chants, all the buzz that was generated from that, how Jericho and Cody are kind of taking that and running their own different ways. Cody being diplomatic, Jericho being the opposite of that. I think that's really played a huge factor as to why they were able to do what they did and get those numbers up. So I think for AEW, just keep it going. Now you're clearly running the ratings war. You're 2-0 in that. Just keep it going, boys.
Yeah, NXT was had 790,000 viewers.
And so they lost about 50,000 viewers or so.
They lost 100,000 viewers.
100,000, yeah. So there you go. Like it feels like
they had a 0.1% in a 0.1% drop in the demo ratings as well for the 18 to 49 demo.
Now, part of that could have been okay. There were 2 Game 5s in the baseball playoffs. A lot of hockey was on. Actually, the only 3 games in hockey, but one of them being the Flyers. So that's going to take some international draw. So that could have been part of it, but ultimately, yeah, to lose that decisively again. NXT, you've been very good, but you got to step your game up, boys.
Yeah. Yeah, and then finally we have New Japan's King of Pro Wrestling next Monday. Next Monday in Japan. Here we have Ryusuke Taguchi and Roppongi 3K versus Suzuki El Desperado, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, what am I saying? And Doki. Doki's back. What do you think's gonna be?
I will go. I mean, with Doki returning, I think they're gonna do something good with Doki in this match. I think Doki's team will win.
Suzuki-gun. Okay.
Suzuki-gun, yes.
Hiroshi Tanahashi and Tomoaki Hanma versus the most violent players of Togi Makabe and Toru Yano, and this is Tanahashi's 20th anniversary match.
I'd have to say Tanahashi's team will win, in part because of that. There will be some shenanigans because Yano, but I think Tanahashi's team will still win.
Yes, and then we have LIJ, Los Ingobernables de Japón, Tetsuya Naito, Shingo Takagi, and Bushi versus Suzuki-gun of Zack Sabre Jr., Lance Archer, and Taichi. And I think Suzuki-gun is going to win this match, and it's going to set up Zack versus Naito for the 4th spot in the IC. Because they're setting up this tournament for Wrestle Kingdom, where the IC title, but they're gonna unify the belts.
What, the IC and
the IWGP?
Oh, the world title.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's what they're probably gonna do. So.
So what? The second biggest title will then be the US or never open weight?
Never open weight.
That'd be the secondary. Okay.
Yeah. They're not going to unify them, but they're going to
have a double champion.
Yes.
Fair enough. So basically, their way of saying, say Okada has both titles. Okay, their way of saying Okada loses, but not lose the world title.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Then we have Hiroki Goto, Tomohiro Ishii, and Yoshihashi versus Bullet Club of Jay White, Kenta, and Yujiro Takahashi.
I'll go with Bullet Club's team.
I'll go Chaos here.
Okay.
So Yujiro is obviously the pin eater here. Goto will pin Yujiro and set up the Goto White match for Power Struggle. Then we have the big rivalry: Jushin Liger versus Minoru Suzuki.
I'm gonna go Liger too.
Ospreay Phantasmo. El Phantasmo.
Should be fun, but I'm gonna go Will.
I'll go Young Will too. I think if anybody can beat him, it's El Phantasmo, but it seems like Will Ospreay has been on a roll lately, and he'll have another fantastic match.
Which is basically the norm for Will.
Basically the norm, yeah. Yeah, he's my wrestler of the year right now.
I would agree with that particular statement.
John Moxley versus Juice Robinson. No disqualification for the IWGP United States.
I have to think that Robinson's going to get it. I don't know if it's going to be now. I think Moxley keeps it for a little bit longer. I think he keeps it till Wrestle Kingdom.
I think Moxley wants to wrestle at the Dome. Moxley. Kota Ibushi versus Evil. This is for the Tokyo Dome IWGP Heavyweight Championship Challenge Rights Certificate. I think Ibushi wins.
Yeah, I think Ibushi keeps it. I see no reason why he shouldn't.
Then we have Kazuchika Okada versus Sonata. Singles match for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship of the World.
This will be a really good match, but I had to think that Okada will retain.
Yeah, I think Okada will retain too. But this is a strong King of Pro Wrestling lineup with 5.
It looks like a good match. This looks like a good lineup, though.
Yes. What did they main event with last year? They main evented with the triple threat: Kota Ibushi, Kenny Omega, and Cody. And then in 2017, they main evented with Okada versus Evil. I know Sonata had a title challenge up there. This is like Sonata's second title challenge. But picks of the week for college football and the NFL.
All right, so college football, it would be there's some good matchups this week. This will be the Badgers to beat up on Sparty. Sparty's not a bad defense. They really aren't. Their offense just isn't good enough to keep up with them. So that'd be an easy layup. Same for my boys at Penn State at Iowa. The atmosphere and the environment is challenging. I don't think the team is. I don't think Iowa's offense is good enough. That's a pretty good defense. Pretty good. I don't think speed-wise they can keep up with Penn State. I really don't. Which is why I think it'll be a closer game. I think the game will stay relatively close. But ultimately, I think it'll be too much Penn State, too much speed. Penn State will eventually pull away late. So I think that's how we get it done. Your boys versus the Irish. Or versus the Trojans. The boys are the Irish.
My reaction is defensive line needs to clobber third-string quarterback of USA. And both need to be a little bit more consistent with the ball. We Bowling Green last week, we covered. But
yeah, you have to cover that massive spread.
45.5. Yeah, we covered.
Yeah, you won what, 52-0?
52-0. But my pick of the week will go. Florida will cover the 30-point spread at Death Valley.
Okay, so you think it's a close game between Florida and LSU?
Close game, yeah.
Okay.
Florida played against Auburn, really impressed me.
I didn't like Florida at all. I still kind of don't, but I will give them respect. They put in work. They were the better team against Auburn. They really were. So I gotta give the Gators respect for that. Good win, Gators.
For the NFL, we go to 1:00. We go to your boys, Miami Dolphins and Washington Redskins. Tank Bowl number 2 of the year.
Yes, this is it. And I will say, and as I've said on my Sports Lounge page, I think the fact that the Dolphins are the underdog here, I don't buy it. I get it. Miami's played terrible. They've been awful this year. They've been the worst team in the league this year. But at least Miami has some sort of direction and cohesion. I see none of that with the Redskins. You just fire their coach and they switch back to Case Keenum. I see no direction. I see no. What's your point, Washington? What are you trying to do? And they have Bill Callahan, who's pretty incompetent himself as a coach. He literally said in his career he had one of the dumbest team in football to lead. I don't like this at all for the Redskins. I don't. And Miami's had 2 weeks to prepare for this. I don't like this at all for Washington. I think Miami should be favored, and Miami wins the game. But my lock of the week, or my pick of the week, is going to be it's tough, but I'm actually going to go to Arrowhead. I love this game between the Chiefs and Texans. I think it'll be highly entertaining from start to finish. I'm going Kansas City. I think it'll be a really good game. I'm expecting a lot of points. I'm gonna be bold here. With picking the Chiefs over a good Texan team, I'm going to take Kansas City.
I was looking at that game and picking Houston to cover.
Okay.
And so Seahawks Browns, I'm going up on that over under. I see the Seahawks defense dominating.
If I had to pick like an over under thing, that Oklahoma and Texas, to me, 76 is too low. I think both teams can get in the 40s easy. With OU and Texas, I think OU wins the game, but I think both teams get in the 40s easy.
Yes. So that's our mini sports segment and gloves.
Twitter.com/BeastMike is where you can find me. Currently watching the Patriots game with the Giants. It's 21-14. New England actually struggling against the Giants somewhat. Also, the Astros, Yankees are going to run it back in the ALCS. Astros get it done. They win 6-1. Dodgers, I'm disappointed in you after choking that hard yesterday. And Cardinals, you did what you did to Atlanta. Necessary. Good job. There's your final four. Cardinals and Nats. I got Nats in 6. Astros and Yankees. I got Astros in 7. And the Astros get it done in 6 against the Nats and win the title.
And then I have Yankees winning the Nats against the Nats.
Otherwise, I'll be producing for the hockey game, Penn State's hockey game against Sacred Heart on Saturday. Not the Friday one. I'll be producing Saturday. I may go to the Friday one. We'll see. But yes, I will be out in time. And yes, I will be watching the college football that will happen throughout the day. And we'll be out in time before Penn State plays Iowa on Saturday night. So I will certainly be – I will have my ears to the streets and my eyes glued to my iPad as I watch everything go down.
DJ D Cooks Wrestle on Twitter. You can hear my rant at DJ D Cooks Music. Epic Corn Section Podcast on wherever podcasts can be found. And yeah. You can listen to the great shows on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Mm-hmm. I know there was new Keeping It Strong Style that was pretty good. And then
nice.
One Nation Radio, and we're fortunate to be a part of that now. So
yep, love the group chat that we had on After Hell in a Cell. The instant reaction was absolute fire. And love them, all the boys that got involved with the group chat that we had after Hell in a Cell. That was absolute fire.
That was so hilarious.
Ooh, yeah, that was absolute fire. So good job to the boys. There we joined in maybe like 5 minutes into it because you absolutely spazzed on the Bray Wyatt on the Fiend Seth Rollins match, but that was fun. That was a whole lot of fun.
Oh yeah, the observer rating for that -2 stars.
That's considering how it ended. I completely understand. I'm not even mad at the Page. Pagers just turned the ball over on downs. Okay, Pagers are actually they're only winning because of a block punt. The Giants canceled that out with a fumble return for a touchdown. So Giants are going to get the ball. Yeah. Interesting.
So until next week, I am PDD Hoops for Beast Mike. This was Getting the Rig.